2 videos in one night, everybody. Hey! Right now, this evening, I want to talk about FIM. I know a lot of you guys know about it, and trust me, it's super confusing. So here I am to break it down because I didn't fully get an understanding of what the FIM score was until I was in a hospital setting. All of this information I have obtained through our classes, books, and the hospital itself. So I am going to start by giving you a description of the levels. As you see, there are 7 levels total. Number 7 is complete independence. So not only can this person complete the task, but they can do it safely. A modified independent means it is an increased amount of time needed for the task to be completed, and they may or may not need an assistive equipment or an aid. Assisted equipment can range from a reacher to a prosthesis, any item that is required in order for them to make them independent, they would classify as a 6. So modified dependence, 5 is supervision or setup assist. 6 is minimum contact assistance, which means the patient does 75% of the work. 3 is mod assist. The patient does 50 to 74%. Then you come down to the complete dependence. 2 is a max assist, where the patient does 25 to 49%. 1 is a total assist, so the patient is doing less than 25%. And 0, which I personally haven't seen used, but from what I read, it means that no activity occurs during the time that the evaluation is going on. That means the individual does not complete the task, nor does their helper. Nothing gets done there. So I don't believe that a 0 is used too often, because how can you truly build and or grow from an absolute 0? It's my personal opinion. Okay. So as you see, I don't have all the numbers on here because as you progress down, each one of these 5 through 1 are the exact same as over here. It's only 6 and 7 that they differ. So we're going to start with grooming because we're occupational therapists. So let's start at the top. 7, the patient is able to complete their grooming task independently. They're brushing their teeth, they're combing their hair, washing their face and hands. They can shave themselves and they can apply their own makeup. Now, when it comes to 6, they can complete all of the same tasks that they were doing at 7, that classifies as a 7, but they require equipment, and that's what we were talking about over there. So whether this be a prosthesis, any equipment that they need to complete the task, and they also require an increase in time. And there are some safety considerations that are taken into place when an individual is at a 6. So now we're at dressing of the upper body. I don't know why, but I don't have the lower body. I'm assuming it's the same. Okay, so a number 7 means not only can this person dress and undress themselves, but they can gather the necessary items, whether that's from a closet or a dresser drawer. They're able to obtain the items and get themselves prepared for the day. A 6 means that the individual again requires adaptive equipment. For instance, a Velcro fastener, or maybe they need a shoehorn. So assistive devices in order to complete the task, as well as additional time. That is me trying to make a clock. Okay, so bladder and bowel management. I just put bladder, but this is for both. So a 7 is the individual has complete control of their bladder. No problems there. Why did I write an 8 when it was supposed to be a 6? Okay, I probably need to go to bed. Total control here. the individual is doing grand. A 6, the individual may require a urinal, bedpan, catheter, bedside commode, that's the abbreviations there, a diaper, any assistive device that they need in order to complete their functions in terms of the bowel and bladder. Now, the reason that they would classify as a 6 is if the person's able to indicate it. I need the urinal. I have to go to the bathroom. Or I'm peeing in the catheter. If the individual is able to identify that they're doing it or need to do it, then that's what would classify them as a 6, because they have the control to know that they're doing it and to be able to stop it. Moving right along, we don't have much more to go. Transfers. In order for the individual to be a 7, they have to be completely independent, safe 100%. Now this means that they are walking, they are going to the bed, to the shower chair, whatever it is, they're getting there themselves and they're doing it safely. A 6 is the individual can complete it, but they may require a sliding board, a lift, a grab bar, but they can do the task. So they're able to know how to safely get themselves there, whether they are walking over or if they're using a wheelchair. They know to lock their brakes and to place themselves into the bed or what have you safely. That's what gives them a 6. Expressions. Believe it or not, the hospital does write this down on their progress area. So a 7, the individual expresses complex or abstract ideas clearly and fluently. Now, this doesn't have to be in English, you guys, but they need to be able to clearly and fluently express their ideas to classify as a 7. A 6, they are clear with some mild difficulty, but they're not required prompting. The individual may need a communication device. Problem solving. Now, a 7, the individual carries out a sequence of steps to complete a complex problem. They require no prompting. They're able to analyze the situation, see what the problem is, and work towards solving it. I went too high. Solving it. And last but not least, we have 6. They recognize there's a problem, but they're having some mild difficulty making appropriate decisions. So this individual doesn't necessarily require prompting, because that wouldn't classify as a 6, but they take additional time to be able to recognize the problem itself. Now again, 6 and 7 are given to you regarding the FIM scores for this, and 0 through 5 is the same for each one of these tasks. Like always, you guys, happy studying. If there's anything that you would like to see, subscribe and let me know. I am here for you. Let's become therapists together, people. Good night.